Welcome back to New York. And now, the war in Afghanistan. American commanders are now focusing on where they believe the most difficult fight in the country will come, and that's Kandahar. It's the home of the Taliban and key to the country's south. There can be no victory in Afghanistan until and unless Kandahar can be wrested from the insurgency. Plans are underway to launch a major offensive on the city that's sure to exact a high price. But before NATO forces can secure the city, they must clear the enemy from hundreds of square miles of farm fields and dusty villages surrounding it. This was once a prosperous farming region. Not anymore. The mud villages are crumbling. The peasant farmers and their families fleeing. They're nowhere to be seen, but everyone knows the Taliban rules here. The Pentagon wants to change that. Soon, thousands of U.S. troops from President Obama's Afghan surge will join other forces massing in the region. A major confrontation is looming. The U.S. is making no secret of its growing presence. The troops you are about to meet tonight are tasked with holding the line until reinforcements arrive. Our producer-reporter Lucian Reed spent 2 weeks with the unit documenting the difficulties facing these GIs.
Hey, get your other team over here with them now. Go, on me, Cracker, on me. Okay. Hey, get 2 or 3 down with that other stuff. Hey, we can see the RPG trail over here, and then we got guys popping their heads up over here. They were like just a little bit to the north of where we were at.
Captain Duke Ryan is commander of Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 12th Infantry Regiment, out of Fort Carson, Colorado.
We took another sporadic fire, and they're watching our exfil.
The way Kandahar goes is the way the country goes. It's always been that since the early days of fighting.
Captain Ryan and his company arrived last May, and they knew it would be a tough fight against an entrenched enemy with much local support.
Two-story?
If there is a front line in Afghanistan, this is it.
So that dude with a weapon just hopped the wall and nothing was fucking done.
Despite months of patrols, fighting more often than not, the men of Charlie Company know that their efforts alone won't be enough.
Go! Move!
Afghan fighters in Kandahar have a long history of repelling foreign forces. The Canadians who arrived here in 2006 were never able to consolidate control of the area.
No way. No way.
Before the Canadians, an entire Soviet army was fought to a draw by the Mujahideen, some of whom are now in the Taliban.
With this being, quote-unquote, the birthplace of the Taliban, where, Mullah Omar started, it's a very daunting task. The Russians used to call this place the heart of darkness, the green hell. The great fields offer them great cover and concealment. It's harder for us to move. They have the tactical advantage when it comes to, the terrain. They know it so much better. It is a daunting task, but it's also something that we wanted. This is where the war on terrorism started, was in Afghanistan.
And this is a part of Afghanistan that there is no question the Taliban still controls, more than 8 years after the war began.
Hey, give me a hand, search the shit out of this fucker.
Anyone around here today is suspicious.
Well, we're not going to hurt you unless you're doing something bad. Are you guys doing anything bad? So the Taliban never come into their village? Yeah, he's lying. Tell him you live in that village and you've never seen any Taliban? Well, we don't live in that village and we've seen Taliban. Okay, tell him he needs to stand with these guys. We need to put him into our security system.
Lieutenant Nathan Wagnon arrived here last fall, replacing an officer wounded in an IED strike.
When we finally got to Kandahar, literally like the first thing I thought when I stepped off the plane was, it smells like crap here. Because I think like in Kandahar there's like an open sewage system. And then it's just dusty everywhere, like right now, kind of in the rainy season, it sprinkle rains every once in a while. But when the sun is out, it's like moon dust. You like step in it and it just like comes up in your face and you breathe it in. It's nasty.
If I can find them, I can kill them. I can get rid of them. We're very, very good at that. What I need your help in is finding them.
Unlike their comrades elsewhere in Afghanistan, the men of Charlie Company make few friends.
I understand that you're scared. What I'm saying is if the bad guys come, tell them that we made you talk to us, that we pulled you into a compound and that you told them nothing.
Lieutenant Mark Morrison thinks most of the people they meet are either Taliban, sympathetic to the Taliban, or scared to death, caught in the middle.
Right now, I'm sure all of us look the same to each other, all of my soldiers in uniform. Don't they look the same? Just like all of you with beards, everybody looks the same to me, but you know each other. But I know that this is June and this is Olds. I know them. So if I could tell you who doesn't belong in my platoon, you need to tell me who doesn't belong with you. It's hard to beat the fear that they instill in them with kindness, because I might come into a village and drop off some food for them, and the next day the Taliban comes in and kills them for accepting the food from us. So which are they going to gravitate more towards, accepting the food or keeping themselves and their family alive?
It's going to take trust. It's trust and confidence. It's not hearts and minds. I don't think we'll ever win their hearts and minds, but I think we can win their trust and confidence. I think that's how it's going to take time. It's a slow process, but it's well worth it.
Is he cold right now? Why is he shaking? He's shaking like you're nervous. You're shaking like you're nervous. He's scared of me? There's no reason, tell him there's no reason to be scared if he's not bad. I mean, to them, obviously, we're just foreigners. I mean, granted, like, if somebody rolled up in my house with a bunch of guns and they were from a different country, I'd be scared too, but that's part of the trust thing, like, being familiar enough to them where they don't freak out if we come in their house. If they see a tangible difference that we're making, I think they'll cooperate a lot more. The difficulty is to even get to the point where you can start to make a tangible difference. You've got to, that's a process in itself. So I think a lot of them can't even conceive of like a different, better life, you know. So they just don't know it.
Tell him that we're coming into his area to help provide security for his village, and we're documenting the locals that live here.
You know, I talk to a lot of locals, and all they want to do is farm their lands and live till they die, is what one man told me. They have no desire for some of the things that we're trying to offer them, and I think that's what we need to look at, is what our expectational goals are coming out of this. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a 7-Eleven on every street corner, and I don't even know if it's going to be democracy. I think what we do offer these people is the chance to live a peaceful life.
But offering the locals a more peaceful life is very challenging when the majority of the population in this area has fled.
It is hard to focus on the population when there's not much there. You know, it's really sad to see, you know, the Taliban use the little bit of locals that I do have and manipulate them and put fear into them. And we watch kids climb up on the roof with cell phones reporting our troop formations and calling back to Taliban. You know, just because there are so few in our area, the precious few, we try and bolster that relationship we do have with them, and at the same time still fight the Taliban. It's a tough middle ground to find.
Another tough problem, keeping all of the abandoned compounds from becoming Taliban storehouses. Just 2 weeks ago, Charlie Company checked out this deserted area and found it clean. Today, they found millions in paper notes.
You're gonna get a cut of it.
A cut?
Unfortunately, it's in currency from the time of the Taliban rule, now worth about the same as Monopoly money. But they also found something else, something that wasn't here on their last visit, a cache of mortars and discarded shells. The Taliban uses anything and everything they retrieve from the battlefield to make weapons, especially roadside bombs.
It was murky. Yeah, this is what's clear water.
Then they discover ammonium nitrate, a highly explosive fertilizer, which the soldiers make sure won't be used.
Expect contact either en route, on the way back, or on the objective itself. It's highly likely given their activity recently.
Here we go. We're all
gonna die.
Harvey! Nurse! Nurse!
It's only a flesh wound.
I don't care! Burn line traces as copies. 29720, break.
Patrol after patrol is shot at from somewhere out there. They return fire in the general direction, but oftentimes, they can't tell where the enemy is.
Okay, Roger. Okay, good. If you're linked up with 2-1, just hold.
What the fuck is that? Hey, what the fuck are they doing?
Hey, was that the A-10s?
Get fucking smoked! Mark, get out! Get out! Call 3rd platoon, tell them to stand your shit off!
Air support is crucial. The eyes on the battlefield come not from the ground, but in the air.
Mark our goddamn position! They know where we're at, they're hitting that! It's just that they're coming in low. It looks like they're aiming at us.
One soldier's job is to not only help the planes and helicopters locate the enemy, but to make sure those dropping bombs don't hit the wrong target.
Those A-10s came in close, and we thought they were coming for us. Stop shooting for the time being. Just stand down.
The men in this outfit say the area is too dense and too infested with enemy fighters for so few American soldiers. Sergeant Samuel frowns.
I would say it's no more than 5 miles by 5 miles, but with that being said, the grape fields, the terrain what it is, it would take us all day to walk from one side of that to the other side. Then you have to climb every wall. You can't go through a crack in the wall. If you go through a crack in the wall, there's a possibility you'll step on a dismounted IED. So you have to go over every single wall. Every 10 feet, there's another wall. Every wall is another hurdle, another obstacle.
The area that we have is small, but very complex. It might seem that, we could cover our area, very easily in a day, but getting in and really getting with the human terrain, the locals, and we try and stop and talk to everyone that we come in contact with, ask them what their key concerns are, ask them if they've seen anything. A lot of times we've talked to people and come to find out later that they were actually Taliban.
Tell them all to shut up. Chunks, face the wall. We got information.
Intelligence is key. There's so many Taliban here that finding anyone who will cooperate is considered a coup. The Army company wants to hold a meeting of elders from the local villages. It's called Ashura, and it's been an effective way to communicate with the locals all over Afghanistan. Lieutenant Wagnon hopes it works here.
We've got some tea for him, and we can sit down and talk with him if he'd like to come in.
After a while, it becomes apparent this man will be the only one coming. Fear has kept others away.
I know it's scary for him to come here knowing that he might be seen, but we appreciate his courage and appreciate any help that you'll give us in the future.
Our concern is about the helicopters dropping bombs.
Yeah, the helicopters fly in this area for security reasons. I can understand the people around here would be afraid of them, but you need to understand that they're only going to attack people who are doing bad things, planting mines in the road or shooting at them even. Just regular farmers don't need to be worried.
The turnout was a disappointment, especially since the U.S. and NATO military in this heavily Taliban area needs all the help it can get.
If you see the Taliban come by at a certain time during the day, or if you recognize patterns, intelligence that's accurate enough for us to come do something about it, then we'll pay him money. For this guy, going back to his village on a consistent basis is going to be pretty crucial for us, especially if he actually calls up with some actionable intelligence, and I stress actionable.
But paying the locals for information in this part of Afghanistan often isn't enough. There are too many Taliban and too many weapons. Captain Rhyme, the unit's commander, has located another stash, and this one is much more dangerous than the last one.
Gotta find where they're fucking cooking it.
The search of this abandoned compound has uncovered a makeshift Taliban factory for producing IED components and homemade explosives, HME.
Well, this is HME. It's already been mixed.
What did you find, sir?
First they boiled the ammonium nitrate, and then they mix the aluminum paint with it, and that's how you make the HME.
We're gonna rip it up. We're going down.
They also find underground irrigation canals which require personal inspection.
Is this now a good time to tell you I can't swim?
And a well where they dump most of the IED materials and destroy them before they can declare victory and go home for the night. Contact with the enemy.
Rooftop, great putt, movement, one guy.
Get us there right now.
Are you en route to our position right now?
Go, 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 go.
He's moving at the great putt dead ahead of us. If you see anything, then shoot. If you don't see, don't shoot. I don't see anything. You guys cover our movement. We get set.
A new arrival has his first taste of combat.
My first firefight.
Oh, what do you think?
Wow.
Keep them talking, Miss. I don't care what it is.
The only casualty in this confrontation, a young Afghan suffering from a concussion. Victories have been rare for Charlie Company, but it does happen. On a recent night, several unidentified men are observed gathering on a compound near the base.
Hey, see if they all go back in the next building, stand. About 11 guys went in this building and half of them took off running.
Yeah, this is definitely the 4 guys we saw coming from the compound.
That's a big compound right there. They're on the trail right beside it. They're digging.
To Lieutenant Morrison and his men, digging along a road means one thing: roadside bomb.
Sir?
Yeah, if they are digging, what do you want to do?
If they're digging on that road, they fucking get killed.
I can do strafe them, because I'll set up a 9 line right now.
You see any reason why I can't say go ahead and strafe them? It's on our exfil route, right? They're digging next to the road.
Yeah, did they confirm that
They're digging next. I'm gonna have them kill them.
Yes.
Hey, Seamus 75, Charlie.
All the evidence they need to call in an airstrike.
Right now and have them fucking.
Oh, there already is.
There's body parts falling. That's awesome. Let me tell the 18.
Hey, that's direct hit.
Oh, there's one moving.
Hey, tell him there's one still alive. He's moving through the field now.
I'm sorry, I was seeing this guy getting thrown around.
Is that Olabari?
He's still moving.
He's squirting.
Hey, yeah, that's that guy right there.
Oh, the A-10's gonna get him. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Calm down up there.
Yes.
We can go out there 100 times and never see the enemy. Or else we can go out there and be engaged by the enemy, 100 times and still maybe never even see them. It's all hit and run tactics. But when it's a cold cut case like that and you see them doing what they're doing, it's very satisfying to eliminate that threat.
For Charlie Company, their time in Kandahar will be up in May. They won't go home with everyone who came here. 5 of their comrades died in action. More were wounded. And just about the time they leave, thousands of U.S. troops are expected in the area, part of President Obama's surge.
Until President Obama put out that we were going to increase troop strength, my personal opinion and the opinion of a lot of those around me is that we were kind of hung out to dry for a bit, that we were trying to fight a fight without the numbers of troops necessary to do it, and that our country wasn't behind us, that we weren't truly committed to this fight. And I know it'll be difficult on the families of the soldiers that will see another deployment, but I really think it's necessary to